Let's go.
All
Yeah.
right. So, what's up, all you listeners out there and viewers? My name's Morsy. I'm a DJ music producer coming out of the Bronx in New York City. Been in the game for like 20 years. Been doing music production for an extremely long time, maybe 15 years, 12 years, something like that. And yeah, we just kind of wanted to do a little 2024 wrap up. And how are you
Hell yeah,
doing,
man.
Rob?
Peace, bro. I'm Nique, DJ Nique of New York City. I pretty much DJ. I'm not the producer. I'm just 100% DJ, all about the DJ life. Private, public events. I do anything from weddings to corporate events to your regular Saturday night down the street. I like to call myself an unglorified local DJ because that's just literally what it is.
Word.
It's not really a glamorous life being a local DJ in New York City, but we do it. Like,
It's not. We had a pretty busy 2024, I'd say. I feel like you've done way more gigs this year than I have. I had a
okay,
few big good moments, a few crappy moments. My highs this year were DJing the Tony Awards.
mm,
That was the after party, and it was cool to see like actual Tony winners come down the aisle and like show off their little award and kind of walk into the room while I was playing. And I also did a Grammy nominations or a Grammy like welcoming members party this summer,
hell yeah.
which was really fun because there's music people, so I get to actually play tracks that are not just corny top 40, but like straight
Mm.
rare cuts, and
Were
it's
you
always
were
fun.
you were you being very like anal about your key selections when you were DJing?
You know what's funny? I was and I wasn't.
Uh
I
huh.
kind of was more. So the space was at the Brooklyn Brewery,
Uh huh.
and like I feel like there was an echo or something. It was kind of hard to hear myself
Mm.
because it was so loud, and I had to like make it louder for the people. So
Hmm.
the mixing was I was more focused on just doing a good job mixing. I was like,
Okay.
I think they're gonna listen and hear train if they hear train wrecks, that's more damaging than an
Yeah.
actual key pitch situation.
Right.
So I focused more on just let me mix and let me play good songs. So in
Okay.
between I did a little you know, your hits here and there, some Prince,
Hmm.
uh, I don't know, maybe some Michael Jackson. I don't even remember. But then a lot of like rare cuts or remixes of that. I didn't just play like a straight up regular Prince track. I played like a remix that probably nobody's ever heard or something like that. Some type of edit.
Right. Yeah. Just keep it eclectic and interesting.
Yeah. How about you? How was your gig situation? Highs.
Um, it's been a very. I like to keep my calendar very different. Like I like to do all kinds of different events and different kind of energies, different vibes, just to keep me on my toes. I got hit up to do a comedy show at the Crown Rooftop. Shout out to DJ Mike Press that set that up for me. And the headliner of the comedy show was a guy from SNL. His name is Andrew Dismukes, and he's the one like the younger cat with the big ears.
Mm-hmm.
That's him. So
Nice.
and the cool part about that gig is that he came directly from rehearsals of rehearsing for SNL the week that Shane Gillis was going to be the host of SNL. And if you know Shane Gillis, he's the guy that got kicked off of SNL and then came back to host it, which is like that's he's in the same category as like a Norm Macdonald in having done that.
Ah.
So I thought that was pretty cool to be like somewhere within the history of like how that all transpired. So
Uh-huh.
that was dope.
Very
Yeah,
cool.
yeah,
All right. I like
yeah.
that.
And it was also great walking into a situation where they had the 3000 set up and the mixer was perfect. Like all the gear was like
Ooh.
brand new. And then I'm like the guy in the room that knows how to use all the stuff. So they were asking me the questions and I was setting up mics and stuff.
Oh yeah. Love
Yeah.
it. When you have your expertise and you don't know you need to use it, but it's all like
Mhm.
you got to use your skills sometimes, and that's why people hire us, because we're
Exactly,
experts in
man.
this game. And like when a situation like that happens, where we have to randomly set up a mic,
Yep.
we can do that. And yeah, that's happened to me a few times. Same
Yo.
situation, corporate gigs,
Uh-huh.
or they have all this equipment, nobody knows how to use it, and they're like, "Do you?"
Mm,
That literally is
exactly.
happening this month.
Mm,
A place I'm DJing at got new equipment. None of the managers, nobody knows how to use it. They just were
mm.
told, "Hey, get this."
Yo, have you well, I had this understanding, well, this idea come to my mind, and you tell me if you agree.
Mhm.
Like, there's so many buttons and switches and levers and things that we know how to use on a DJ controller or any kind of DJ equipment that I think we probably know how to fly planes, and we just haven't tried yet.
Bro, I yeah, it's gonna one day we're just gonna be on an emergency plane. It's gonna be like, oh, I know this.
I'm
Up,
saying,
down,
like,
left, right,
the
select,
when they're
start.
flying planes and something happens to the pilot, are they gonna be like, is there a DJ on the plane? we need some we need someone with experience pushing buttons.
Calling all DJs out there. Well, then everybody on the plane would be like, yeah, I'm a
Yeah.
DJ. I'm a DJ too.
Everybody on the plane is a DJ. Everybody.
Yeah, you know how that shit goes. But
Yeah, man.
all right,
But yeah,
let's
that was the best gig.
well, you also had another big gig.
What, Lululemon?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's not big. I
That was
guess.
cool. It was big, but it was like, logistically, I had to like go through the Columbus Square like back area to get to it. It was a pain in the ass, and I forgot my microphones, um, and the speaker didn't connect to the sound system. So as glamorous as that looked on Instagram, it was the biggest headache.
God. Yeah. Well,
Yeah, dog.
I hate when that happens.
Mhm.
Yeah, we should actually
Mhm.
talk about that. As far
Mhm.
as like pain in the ass situations as DJs.
Mhm.
And this is the things I think a lot of new DJs don't even know is when we have to figure out insurance and get COIs done, and
Mhm.
they need these companies are like, oh yeah, because we have these big clients in this space, you need to have this certificate, this insurance, that insurance, add this.
Mhm.
Oh, that's not good
They
enough.
want
You need to also
millions.
add this. Yeah,
Yeah, millions of dollars of coverage is like, I mean, at the end of the day, it's just a couple hundred to get it for the year, if that. Um, but yeah, it's definitely something you need to have if you want to do gigs, in public spaces and shit. Looking back to Hudson Yards, they don't only just have give them a certificate of insurance. You also have to give them like sign off on a sole proprietor like thing that says like, hey, if you mess anything up, yada yada yada, it's your ass. Literally, you're signing
damn.
your ass off.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's a lot of liability in this business, bro.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that. They think, the stereotype of, oh, he's a DJ. But like
Mm-hmm.
when he's a DJ, but he's a business DJ, and I think that's what
Yeah,
we are. Like we've
right.
been in the game long enough where we can consider ourselves business DJs, and
Yeah.
we do it in a professional manner. You've done so many weddings this year. I did a handful of weddings,
Uh huh.
and the stress of some of these weddings is crazy. Like the venue spaces,
Yeah.
specifically with COIs going back and forth, and then
Hmm.
equipment, and then you talk to a space and they say, "Oh yeah, we have this table, we have that," and then you show up and they don't have exactly what you talked about, and
Oh yeah.
luckily you bring your own stuff, like your own wiring or
Always.
yeah,
Always.
and
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, it all falls on you. If they don't got the thing, or if their speakers suck, or if this. I do so much back work before a wedding. It's just like it's never just the day of, and that's partly why they cost what they cost. You
yeah,
know, at the end of the day, you want someone to care about your big day as much as you do.
yeah,
You know, and how are you going to make a stranger care if unless if you're paying them handsomely for their time?
exactly. Do you feel like as us DJs going into 2025 with inflation and everything, are do you feel clients are okay paying more for our services, or do you think like this rate has stayed standard for DJs and people don't see us as more our worth
Right.
compared to like other jobs?
Well, you got to talk about what space is the job coming from. Like if it's a public space, like a bar, restaurant, club, that's kind of entry level DJing as far as like I'm concerned, money wise. Like
Hmm.
you're gonna get the least because a club manager sees you asking however much money and honestly knows that there's a chef in the restaurant that wants to be a DJ and will be doing it for free if if he wanted
That
to.
that
He's
has
not going to do a
happened.
great job. Exactly, it has happened.
Yeah,
He's not going to do a great job, but at the end of the day, what's important to a guy that only cares about business is that there's music being played. So it's
exactly.
like at the end of the day, you got to keep that shit in the back of your mind. Like it's like one of those things. Will I do it for free? But at the same time, like how much money can I get for it? Kind of deal. It's like,
Yeah, exactly.
um, yeah,
So then this is where we have to like say,
hmm,
yeah, regular gig, maybe we can't charge as much because of the situations you're talking about. But like for a corporate professional situation or a wedding, you don't want a Joe Schmo messing up that
no,
moment, that situation. And so we should be able to charge what we have to charge in order to like keep that distance between a professional and like some random dude that's just gonna play background music, or if he
word,
clears out the venue or the spot, it's not gonna be such a big deal compared to like if if we were to screw up at a wedding or a corporate gig during like a big speech where a
yeah,
huge person's about to talk,
exactly.
can't mess that up.
Morsy, do you know why buying a beer at Yankee Stadium is $20?
No. Why?
Imagine if the beers were $5 at Yankee Stadium. What would happen?
Belligerent.
Belligerents.
Yeah.
People would be falling off the Raptors. People would be fighting left and right. The cops would just be all over. The people would be running on the field without clothes on.
Yep.
And it's because like you got to put a price on these things if you want a certain result. You want a guaranteed result. Like you got to like lock your price in somewhere, and that's not just us as like the people providing the service, is the people that are receiving the service. Like how much are you willing to pay for the desired result that you want? You know?
Also, yeah, how much are you willing to pay to enjoy a beer during a game because it's a long game and you're just wasting time. So it's
Yeah.
they I guess yeah, you can get away with a certain amount, and I think maybe you can ask for more money until you hit that limit and you go, okay, people are not willing to pay this much, so either I give them better services
Yeah.
or I kind of just stay
Well,
steady.
I gotta apologize to my future clients that are watching this right now, but right now, like I'm a little more expensive than I was. Like if you were to come at me in like February of this year, because of the fact that I know my limit of gigs I could take, and I'm starting 2025 with the most bookings I've ever had pre-year. So right
Nice.
now I have the most bookings for private events for the following year that I've ever had in my life. So it's
Sweet.
like I know that I guarantee that much work. So going forward, I know that I'm worth by demand, a higher rate. So yeah, I'm not gonna shout out my rates right now. But if you would
We don't
like
have to
to,
talk. We don't have to talk
but if
about.
you would like to, please send me an inquiry on at djnique.net.
Yep, yep. I love that.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and that's how we should be doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, me personally, I don't have much booked. I have a few weddings booked and
Mhm.
a couple corporate gigs booked out. But like, yeah, I think we talked about earlier how organized you are and how many gigs you know you've done, how many Saturdays you know you've done.
Mhm.
Please talk about that. That was That was really good input on like
Oh,
how you even figure that out. How do you get
oh
these
yeah,
numbers?
no, I'm super like everything I do, I keep track of. Because it's like a way for you to look back and see how this shit is going, you know? And being a DJ that's been at it over 20 years, damn near 25 at this point, it's like I need to justify myself doing this. And I could, go back and see, oh, how many gigs I did, how much I made, um, how much people are booking me, what's my demand, and things like that. Because, like, a lot of people like to feign their demand and say, "Oh, I'm booked out the ass." Like you see this a lot with people posting like their calendars of like how they're booked up for the whole month, blah, blah, blah. And then like knowing those venues, like you look at that shit, and
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah, I know you getting that beginner money, and it's like good for you because you got to
Yeah.
stack those gigs, but at the same time, it's like
Yeah. Yeah. I
it,
know
it, it
exactly what you mean. And they're DJing probably 6 hours,
yeah.
4 to 6 hours, and
Yeah, I'm a more quality over quantity person. I got married this year. My time is, with my wife on a weekend is like few and far between. And if I can get that time, it's worth a lot to me. So for me,
absolutely.
we got to think about, and also like if I had to explain it to a client, I would tell them like how much are your weekends worth?
Mm,
How much would it cost to get you out of your house to do something for someone else for 8, 10, sometimes 12 hours? Like how much is that worth to you? You know?
absolutely. Yeah. I mean, family is important, plus kids, as you know, I mean, I'm dealing with a 5-year-old right now,
Exactly.
and my wife and I were like deciding we're gonna sacrifice these few years to be present with family and be
Mhm.
available. And yeah, it's been rough. I feel like I've kept my DJ career a little slower and have been focusing more on like the teaching or doing things during the day when my kids
Mhm.
in school.
Yeah.
So that just like you said, Saturdays and Sundays are for family, and like, if we're gonna have to sacrifice family time, it's got to pay pretty damn good.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's what it is, especially for professionals like us that show up and do the job, you know, entertain. It's not only like entertaining a crowd, it's also showing up on time and making
Mm,
sure you allot enough time to set up gear and be set up for the time for everything to start. And sometimes a lot of those factors aren't in your control, especially if you have a family.
hmm.
And you have to, I feel for you whenever you have to do things, and you have to pack, and then you gotta load out, and then I know I'm very easy to forget something.
Uh-huh.
But when I have a child that's like, "Daddy, daddy, daddy, what are you doing? Daddy, 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 look at this. Daddy, 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 look at that." Like,
Bro, yeah, it is out of control the
Mhm.
amount of time it is to
uh,
to raise a kid and like have a career like a DJ.
mhm,
Speaking of, I do want to come or talk a little bit about your equipment, the setup time, and all that.
mhm,
Since we're DJs and we're other DJs are going to be listening,
mhm.
or just whoever's listening, what's your average setup time? How much equipment are you usually bringing
Right.
to, let's say, a corporate gig?
All right. Corporate gigs are easier because they usually don't call for lighting. So it's just speakers, it's just sound and DJ equipment. So I could set that up ideally in 45 minutes. Um, I like to give myself 45.
Hmm.
Um, but I always write in my contracts or in my conversations, say
Yep.
an hour to get in, set up. And if I'm standing around for, a half hour, 15 minutes, if I'm done quick, then I'm in there like, getting my music ready or, schmoozing with the people that are there.
Yep. Same with me. I usually give an hour, and there's some gigs where you're like, oh, they want such and such. They want this set up. They want like, if it's a wedding, they want another ceremony room set up.
Mm-hmm.
So then I give that maybe an hour and a half. But it's
Mm-hmm.
it's usually the same thing, like 45 minutes set up, and the average for me is two speakers. I got the RCF JMix 8s. I got my Pioneer XDJ RX2
Nice.
controller, and then I just bought the Shure wireless microphone, the
Mm,
SM58 25,
okay.
SLXD 25,
All
and
right.
it's using
Beautiful.
that SM58 wireless plus an SM58 Shure wired as my
Okay.
backup. How about
Dope.
you? What's your setup?
Um, I got my K12 still pushing. I need to upgrade
Really?
those.
Oh, but
Yeah,
you also have your
I do.
beauties.
I do have the EV 30s. Yeah, 30 M's. The line arrays, but
Line
that's
arrays.
like I tried to use that as like my main sound for dancing, and it was just clipping so hard
I remember
that
we
I
talked
just,
about this.
yeah, I had to demote those as like super expensive fucking cocktail speakers. So they look
Yeah.
amazing and they make me look awesome when I do a corporate gig, and everybody wants to know about them, have so many questions. But as far as like main audio, it's bad for business.
And they're white.
Yeah, that too. But like, I wanted to be like gaudy about it, and, like keep them. I wanted to do like a whole white setup and like be that guy. But
Yeah.
yeah, but also running on the Pioneer SR2, still working on that. It works still
Hmm.
good. I need to upgrade that.
Yeah.
And then whenever I'm not using that and I'm having someone DJ with me, I break out the Pioneer X RX3 controller.
Yeah. I'm,
Yeah.
every time I see it, and when I see you have that set up, I think,
Mm.
damn, I wish I could. Because I remember buying the XDJ RX2, and
Yeah,
then
that's
two
right.
months
Dang.
later, it was or a month later, the
Yeah.
RX3 came out, and you were like, bro, look what I
Oh
got.
man.
And
Yo,
that
you missed
upgrade,
out.
yeah,
You missed out on the touchscreen life.
it's so much faster, that touch screen.
Yeah.
It looks a little more professional. I mean, they're fairly similar, but
Yeah, it's a beautiful piece of machinery. I
yep, it
can't
is what it
complain.
is. It is a little bigger, so that required more space. And for me, yeah, I we were talking about minimalism earlier. I like to be as minimal
Mm.
as possible. The reason why I got the RCFs, the tweeter on top for the line array fits in the back
Hmm.
inside the sub. So I'm
Yeah.
just carrying two big boxes pretty
Hell
much,
yeah.
and then I got my controller on top with a rock and roller gliding
Nice.
to a venue.
That's
Yeah.
beautiful, man. I gotta. I need to look at RCF because what I got right now, I mean, it's good, but I'm just like, it's time for new speakers, man. K12s are like since 2016. I had those, so
Yeah, but they still work and they still bang nice and clearly.
they bang really good.
Yeah.
Pause.
All right. Well, that's cool. I think we have been talking
Mm.
some good stuff about positives of DJing. Let's get into negatives, like our worst gigs, our worst
Uh,
situations.
I want to hear your worst gig first, and then I'll go with mine next.
All right. My worst gig. So usually it comes with requesters. That's usually like the annoying part. And
Mm.
then you can, we know our techniques of, we'll nod, we'll give them a paper and tell them to write it down.
Mm.
But this one gig, and I won't say the venue, but I was amazed at how determined some people are to get their
Mm.
song played.
Uh huh.
So there was the venue I play at, it's more of like a loungy house music, maybe some top 40 vibe.
Mm.
And that's what I focus on, and that's what the venue wants. But this
Mm.
lady she came the first time with a country song request, no offered no money, and I was just like, this is not really, I was trying to be polite. This is not really the venue for that. And she was
Mm.
like, "Oh, come on, you could do it. Who cares?" No, and then you know how they go, "Oh, nobody's dancing, nobody's doing this, nobody's doing that," even
Mm.
though there clearly are people dancing. And like,
Oh, is this like a Midwestern person in New York City for the first time?
yes,
Okay. Hmm.
absolutely is the situation, and they're like not comfortable being in New York. They want their music being played, and especially
Yo.
when it's a person that's like plus 50 years old, and they just feel like this. I don't know if it's a race issue, if they're like, oh, I'm going to tell this Latino DJ
Mm,
what Americans should be playing. Who knows the situation?
bro.
But I told her politely, I cannot play that. It's not really the fit.
Uh-huh.
And then she goes, well, you should play it, and then walked away.
Uh-huh.
Tell me how she did this 5 times. She came back 5 times. She would go like take a bathroom break and like come stop and be like,
Oh.
play that song, like demanding almost at a certain
Oof.
point.
Yeah.
So at the fifth time, I didn't lose it. I didn't, but I was like definitely my tone changed, and I was like, miss, you haven't offered any type of tip or kindness. It was just
Mm,
very demanding from the get go, and I'm
yeah.
definitely not playing your song.
Mm,
And I just stuck with that, and she didn't come back. And it's that
good.
feeling of I feel like I've done this at another venue, and I feel like they tattled me out and like got me in trouble with management. Do you
Mm,
think at a certain point we should just be talking to managers and being like, hey, this person's really bothering me?
mm. Yeah, I do that.
Yeah.
I do that, and I tell security and just be like, yo, this person's being very irate. They're getting in my face. But one thing I wanted to talk about also was like one of the positives I got from this year is like how to like react positively and have positive interactions with requesters. So like I know that energy's coming from somewhere. You know, a lot of times some people are on like honestly are on drugs or they can't handle their alcohol and they come up to you like, "Oh, we got to hear the song." But that comes from a place of like not going out very often. This is like the only night that they went out all year.
Yes.
They don't know how to act.
Yes.
They were listening to the song, getting them hyped up all week, all day to go out this one night. And here they are, and they don't know how to act and they don't know how to dance. Because most of the times they hear this shit and they don't dance.
Yeah.
And they beeline to me and they're like, yo, do you take requests? Question one, do you take requests?
He's like,
I say, no, I don't take requests, but I want to hear what you want to hear. Because it's like obviously this energy came from somewhere. I want to know. Like I'm
yeah.
curious.
Yeah.
What do you want to hear? Oh, I want to hear Ray J. And I'll be like, really? And then you judge it. You're like, really? Like, why would you want to hear that? And then they give their reasoning or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And if it's something I've never heard of before, I'll take a picture of it on their phone if they show it.
Yes. Yes.
At least I could be like, at least show them like, oh, that's dope. I'll listen to it, and if it's cool, I'll get it. And
Exactly.
if you come see me again, maybe I'll play it. But right now, I don't got it. So like, go somewhere else.
Yeah. Yeah. I've had a few. I've This year somebody asked me to play a song because they were gonna like propose,
Oh shit.
or they just proposed and they wanted like something special, a special song, and I was like, absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't care if you pay me. If I know I'm doing a nice gesture and it's gonna like make that moment memorable,
Mm,
then let's make it happen. Let's do it. But
yeah.
then you have the people. There's people. Oh yeah, somebody tipped me this year a
Mm,
hundred dollars, a hundred
oof.
dollars, and said, it was $100 bill. Boom, right on the table. He's like, I'm not even requesting any songs. I just love what you're doing, and walked away. Yo, I
That's what I'm talking about.
was like, that's
That's
what,
what I'm talking
yeah,
about.
that's when you're
That
setting the vibe.
first of all, that's class.
Class.
That's class. Anybody that does that, it could be $100. It could be a single dollar. To go
Yep.
up to the DJ and to like distract him and say, "Yo, you're the fucking man. Here's some money,"
Yep.
and stand on it with the $100 bill.
Yep.
Props
Whew.
to you, classy
Right.
man or
Classy man.
woman.
It was a
Yeah,
man. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, $100. If you want to show me your titties, more than welcome. Wait, did you get flashed this year?
No, you got flashed?
the worst. They flashed, but with their back towards me, and flashed the whole spot, but me. I was so mad.
Was this at Radgast?
Yes, it was. When good times were invented.
I mean, honestly, that venue is, for those that don't know, Radgast Beer Hall is one of
Mm.
the best places, people dancing on tables and partying. For those that haven't gone to a Nique at night Saturday, go check it out. Um,
Yo, it's just rowdiness. People would just do whatever in that spot, and I love it. I'm so for it. And it's crazy because it's like it took me such a long time to like really like find my bearings there.
mhm.
And eventually I found them, and then that's it. Nique and I was born.
Yep,
Hell
love
yeah.
it. So, what was your worst gig?
Yo, it was literally my first private event of the year.
Uh huh.
And it was a holiday party for a medical company.
Okay.
And um it was like a lot of gear. They requested a lot of stuff. And then they had a magician slash ventriloquist act go on before me. And like honestly, I came in there open minded, and it was like an older dude that was doing it. And I'm looking at him before he starts, and I'm like, is this me in 10 years? and
God.
then and then he goes through the whole shit. And it was like it wasn't horrible and it wasn't bad, but it was so bad that it was good, if you know what I mean.
Oh,
Like I was getting a kick out of everything he was doing, like with the pigeon, and then like
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
fire, and he had his music going on, and he was doing his little pirouettes, and then he did his ventriloquist act, which was awesome, hilarious. The whole thing was amazing. Music starts. I start playing music. Some people are dancing. Some people are hanging out. It's kind of like a whatever holiday party. So it wasn't
Mhm.
like, they weren't a huge dancing crowd. That happens. And then this guy comes over and starts asking for the mic. And I'm like, no, I can't give you the mic. And he keeps doing it, coming over and trying to get the mic. And then the lady that booked me comes next to him and says, he paid for the party. You have to give him the mic. And I said to her, I don't have to give him anything, because if he gets on his mic and starts shouting, he's going to ruin my gear. So it's like in the contract that if my stuff gets messed up, I leave.
Mhm.
And it was that. And he kept being persistent. And then a good amount of people left, and it was like really dead, and I was counting down the minutes like, all right, so I'm going to play my last song, boom, get out of here, pack up. And the lady comes over to me and she says, can you play longer? And I look at the crowd and see that there's like people leaving, and I'm just ready to go.
Mhm.
And and I'm like, I mean, I got nothing going on, so sure. And she's like, all right, so how much for another hour? And I said, this amount. And she said, no problem. I was expecting her to say no because there was literally nobody there.
Yeah.
So what ended up happening is that they basically hijacked the party to have a birthday party after the holiday party for someone that was not even a part of the company.
Wow.
And literally, I'm DJing, and I'm like, all right, at this point, I have to replay songs because it's like I played all the hot stuff for the first party.
Mhm.
So I'm just like really like over it, and I'm jamming, I'm playing whatever. They start getting up, dancing, going all crazy. They were rowdy as hell for adults. It was
Mhm.
like it was just a horrible look. I got
One
paid
of
well,
those,
but still,
yeah, those situations where they haven't gone out. You know, they don't go out, and this is their chance to go get rowdy, and they do
yeah,
it out of control.
yeah. Especially outside of a family party, but then I used to going crazy. I mean, it's just like I was waiting for that company to come back around this year to ask me to do it, just so I could say no. Yeah, it's like no.
You know, it's so funny when you just reminded me of another crappy gig this year,
Hmm.
and it had to do with somebody on a mic, and it was one of the owners of the venue or one of the owner's friends, and he straight up was screaming on the microphone. It wasn't my microphone, and so I didn't
Hmm.
care, but he literally cleared out the audience. He cleared out the dance floor within 20 to 30 minutes.
Mm.
And as a DJ, you have to now figure out, how am I going to get this party popping again? How am I going to get
Yeah.
this dance floor moving again after they just ruined it? And I spent, for us, sometimes it takes like 30 to an hour to get that vibe going, to get the
Hmm.
people to dance, for them to gain your trust. And it's like somebody just ruined it, and now it makes me look bad. Like, those feelings suck. And then you just have to like kind of split your ego and be like, you know what? I know who I am. I know what I'm
Hmm.
capable of. If this dance floor is ruined, I know it wasn't my fault. And just kind of
Right.
like, just even when people stare at you and go, damn, this DJ kind of clear it out. It's like, no, no, no.
Yeah. Yeah. They don't know. Then they have you looking all crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, it's crazy all the situations that you find yourself in, and I had my hand full of feelings of dejection throughout this year of like things that happened that just made me question if I wanted to keep doing this shit,
Hmm.
and like thinking, oh, how many more years do I have of like doing X, Y, and Z, and it's natural to feel that way, and the way I pull myself out of it is knowing it's just another gig. It's
Hmm.
just another gig that begins and ends, and there's going to be another one after it. And if this one sucked, then the other one's going to, without a doubt, be even better than that one was.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I like that.
yeah,
As
man.
far as 2025,
Mhm.
do you see yourself focusing more on more DJ gigs, corporate gigs, weddings? What's your goals?
I mean, I get what I get. I have a cap on the amount of weddings I do because of the demand of time outside of the wedding that they take. And I like the variety of my schedule. So it's like right now I'm at halfway point of that cap, which is great, which
Hmm.
means I can open myself up more to corporate stuff and private stuff, or even public stuff, like fun venues that I haven't played before, or even just like doing guest sets with DJs in other cities or stuff. Like I'd be down for that. I'm just like, I'd rather my resume speak for me and like all the things that I've done, and I just need to be better about sharing what that is, in order to bring those opportunities in, because I'm just like, I'm old school, man. I'm not like posting like crazy, but I'm still booked,
Hmm.
which says something.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
um, One thing I am going to be focusing on is how I'm going to present my DJ persona. So like, I don't know if I'm going to like be the DJ that brings out toupees and shit. Like I'm going to make toupees famous with my baldy. I'm gonna like learn how to DJ in sunglasses. I think that's gonna be.
Honestly, for 2025, I think my focus is going to be less DJing of those like easy gigs,
Hmm.
more on the wedding corporate side,
Hmm.
but doing less gigs in general, just less DJ gigs that pay more, so
Hmm.
that I can focus on the music production teaching path that I've
Right.
been doing at Sound Collective, and when I do my private lessons, this and that.
Hmm.
I feel like being home on Zoom, or like going to the music school and teaching, has given me a new sense of self worth, or like, here's
Hmm.
something else I can offer at this
Right.
age, and teaching the music, because I've been doing it for so long.
Yeah.
Teaching it is a new passion.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah, I just because like the late nights, man, we're hitting that age, bro.
Mhm.
Those, like, we're veteran DJs. Those late nights coming home at 4 or 5 in the morning is not as fun as it used to be. Especially
I
now,
mean,
married and with kids, and you
uh,
married.
bruh. I mean, I still got it in me though, because like even though Saturday night, like these couple Saturday nights that I haven't been spinning, I'm like, like I'm staying up till 3 in the morning, just like,
Really?
yeah, just like on my phone, just BSing because I still have that energy in me to do it, to be out and like, spin. But at the same time, like I'll go to sleep. I'll be home and asleep like 3, 4 in the morning and like still be able to wake up at 11 and like have like a productive day after.
Mm,
That's just how my body like works. And I
nice.
think I think, right now, I think we're two guys that look young for our ages and like act young for our ages.
Absolutely.
Hopefully, like continuing down that route doesn't erode that.
Yeah. I mean,
But
another 10, 15 years, I think we got until we're like, all right,
mm,
now it's like strictly got to be a really big professional gig only
mm,
or something.
yeah,
Or then, I don't know, passing the baton, having a booking agency. Maybe we could talk about that in
right.
the future where that's where
That's true.
we get at a certain level where we're that established. We'll see. We
Yeah.
recorded this right now, the end of
Mm,
2024. Let's see 10 years from now.
hell yeah, man.
If we have another recording, we could talk about it and be like, all right, we were right or we were wrong. Who
That's true.
knows?
Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah. Well, any wrap ups you want to kind of say?
Well, we got a little bit under 10 minutes of the full hour. Maybe we could do some quick questions of like I had a few like rapid fire questions ready,
Okay.
but you or in convos that we could do. So I got the answer to one from you. If there was any flashers at your gig, you said no. And if there were any fights at your gigs.
Ooh.
Mm.
You know what? At the moment, I can't remember a fight, but I feel like there was. Oh, yes, there was a fight at Radgas Beer Hall.
No way.
Yes.
Wow.
You act
Did you see
surprised.
anything? Well, that's the thing. It doesn't really happen from here at
Oh,
Radagast. Like and when it does happen, I end up hearing about it afterward, and it happens in a place that I wasn't, visible. It was invisible to me.
yeah. So at this point of my DJ career, I know when a fight is about to break out. And
Mm,
so I quickly change the mood. And I
mm,
quickly, like, if I see people got too rowdy, I'll slow it down. I'll change
mm.
the vibe. I'll play like an R&B song, something that's just like throws it off where like,
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, I just stopped the fight from happening. But
Mm,
at Radgas, that place gets so rowdy. The fight was in the back, so I couldn't see the crowd because that place gets packed.
mm,
And it was it was a woman who felt like she was they all got drunk. She either spit on somebody or somebody spit on her, and I think it was a race issue as well, and she got hauled out, and I think
I
the other
guess,
people
man.
got hauled out by the security. And I mean, security at that place is pretty damn good where
Yeah,
it
hell
was
yeah.
quick in and out, but then I had to rework that dance floor again.
Yeah, shit. Man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I've
How about
never in the years that I've played there, that's rarely happened.
Mhm.
Maybe once or twice, and yeah, it was just not within eyesight of me.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
uh, it wasn't a fight, but I did have a wedding where at least 3 people were carried out because
We talked about this.
yeah, they were just so drunk that like they ended up with their heads in trash cans and their friends had to carry them out physically.
Wow.
But I mean, a private event, sometimes you want to get your money's worth and things like that happen. So yeah,
Yeah,
thankfully they're good now.
funny.
Yeah. All right. Song of the year.
Ooh, wow, that was weird. The first thing that came up to my mind was Cuff It, and I feel like Cuff It was last year. So,
Yeah, that was Cowboy
uh,
Carter. Hmm.
song of the year. Wow, I don't know. I feel like I've played so. Oh, that Adam Porter move.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
what is it? Adam Porter?
Yeah. Whoa. 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 Whoa.
Yeah, I feel
All
like
right.
that set the tone for.
bro. It's HOTTOGO, bro.
Oh my God. That too.
That's just a slapper, man.
You know what's
You know
so
what it is?
funny? It's so
Yeah, yeah.
different. Yeah.
It is very different. It's like a different BPM is everything, but it's like it's like it's the Call Me Maybe of this generation.
Yes.
Call Me Maybe was what 10 years ago, and it's still like it's still playing. You still play it now, and people are still gonna sing it.
Yep.
But the Call Me Maybe of this generation is Hot to Go. When
Yes.
you play Hot to Go, there's a dance to it. Everybody like does it. Everybody sings along. It gets everybody together.
Yep.
And I don't want to say everybody, but there's gonna be a lot of people yelling at the top of their lungs when that song plays.
Absolutely. Yeah. Every time I played it, I feel like it's the countdown, the one, two, three. And
Mm.
it reminded me of that song, That's Not My Name. That's
Also,
not my name.
it's another opportunity to bring that banger back.
Yes.
You know?
Which I love.
Yeah.
And then you can throw in the Outcast. Remember when Outcast was big, the Bongs Up of Baghdad
Oh hell yeah.
or the what's the Ice Cold?
Mhm.
What song is that?
I
Damn,
know
it's
what
been so
you're talking
long.
about. Shake it like a Polaroid
Yeah, shoot
picture.
ya.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know
I know
what
what
to
you're talking
do. Anyway, those
about. Yeah.
those type of fast songs, and so
Uh-huh.
that like, yeah, you can get the crowd jumping a whole another different way, and then you can play those old school '80s songs that are that fast. Like
Exactly.
that's that vibe, and
Yeah.
it clears away from this. You know, there's been so much of the house
Hmm.
that got popular now, and
Hell yeah. Talking about songs that came back, just gonna piggyback that in a possibly interesting way. I don't know. Um, and tying in the songs that you sent me because we exchange music on a weekly basis.
mm,
Songs that you sent me that have worked really well. I had no idea that this song came back and was popping, but "Murder on the Dance Floor," dude.
I was gonna
Thank you
talk
so
about
much
that.
for that. I was like, all right, I got this song, and I'm like, what is this shit? And you're like, you have to play it, and then I played it, and they
Yeah,
went nuts.
yeah, yeah.
And then people like were requesting it like after in different gigs and stuff. So thank you for that.
Absolutely. About that song,
Uh,
so I was DJing at a place that usually has Europeans.
mhm.
Europeans came up to me and they kept requesting it. So I was like, what's so special about this song? It showed up in a European movie and it got popular again. And then it just went to the billboards, and then that's where they get another label, or the same label gets another push, and they just re-push it. And it's just like, it's amazing to know that song came out like I think 20 years ago, 15 years ago,
Yeah.
and it's just back. Yeah, and it worked really well.
Dog, I really hope that this happens to you. Like one year you're just sitting around and then you get an envelope in the mail of residuals for some song that you had no idea popped and it's like some kind of huge hit in a European country. It's like, what? 100,000?
Exactly.
You fly there, people wearing Morsy shirts.
That'd be
Yeah.
amazing.
Speaking of which, another song that you sent me that popped really well this year was your edit of Just Dance Levels.
Ah,
I've been
yeah.
telling you every chance I get, like every time I play that song, boom, hits.
It's so funny because that song, somebody had a version of the Avicii levels with that Just Dance, but
Mm,
when the drop came, it came in too hard and it ruined the dance floor. So it was
mm,
like somebody you could tell was a good producer, but they weren't a good DJ. And
mm,
so I was like, let it drop to the original where people know and dance to the most, so
mm.
that it's like you get this Lady Gaga intro that people remember, but then the original comes in. So like I spliced those together, and yeah, it ended up I played it almost at least once a month, if not every week.
Banger,
Yeah.
banger. Were there any songs that I sent you that worked for you?
So you sent me so many songs. I
Too
feel
many.
like the biggest song you sent me was the Beyonce with a Solardo
Mm.
remix. It was like the
Okay.
Solardo house music anthem.
Mm.
I think it was Cuff It. It was a Cuff It version,
It could have been, yeah.
and
I
that
remember you loving that.
slaps. And you also sent me I think you sent me a Call Me Maybe. Speaking
Oh
of
yeah,
speaking of Call Me Maybe, yeah, you sent me some type of remix edit. That shit
yeah.
slaps.
Dollar Cub, Dollar Cub mashup. That was a banger. Yeah,
Yeah,
hell yeah. Word.
those two for sure.
I think I got more for you. Um, First song of 25. Wait, are you DJing New Year's?
I am not, unless somebody randomly calls me last minute.
Okay.
Yeah, I had an opportunity, but it was in Jersey, and they wanted me to bring all this equipment, and I'm like, I'm not doing all that. Me living in the Bronx, I'm not going all the way to Jersey.
Damn.
Yeah.
I already loaded in my gear for my gig because it's in Times Square, and I had to
Oof.
do it. I had to do it ahead of time. But if I didn't have the SR2 and had the RX3, I would have definitely had you rock with me, man. It's
Yeah.
gonna be a crazy, crazy gig.
Nice.
But I'm thinking of dropping Not Like Us, man.
Really?
Like, yeah, it's just.
You mean not
I mean,
playing it or
I'm like playing it at midnight. Not
okay?
like us. Yeah,
Yeah.
as like I don't know, but that's the thing. It's like the energy at that point. I might already have it like at a dance up in like dance music, 125s to 130s.
Hmm.
So dropping it back into hip hop, I think would get everybody like excited, especially the people that are drinking at the bar waiting for hip hop to come back.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I think
Yeah.
yeah,
Hip hop's been bad for 2024. I don't really know any bangers that
yeah,
it was all about house. Um,
yeah.
yeah.
Afro
So
House was taking
Afro
over.
House, yeah, took
Yeah,
over, and it's who knows how long that'll last, but it's been a good vibe for 2024. 2025, yeah, if hip hop comes back and there's some like good bangers out there, that'll be fun. That'll be
yeah,
fun to
man.
do again because yeah, my sets. I'm getting a little tired of playing just house, even though like I'm a
Right.
house producer.
Mhm.
Um, if you're doing 4 hour gigs, a little bit of hip hop in
Yeah,
between some 80s is
yeah.
fun. So
Hell yeah, man.
yeah,
Um, that I was gonna talk about the Kendrick and Drake beef, but that's like too much to talk about. But
yeah.
I was just gonna ask you the one question was like, did you like me feel bad playing Drake after that whole shit?
Yo, I was like, damn, I like playing Drake. It was working so well.
Yeah.
And then so I didn't play Drake for like
Mm.
maybe that week. Or what I would do, I would do a little rap battle. I'd
Uh-huh.
play Drake, play Kendrick, play Drake, play Kendrick. I always did a
Right.
little battle of like
That's
four
cool.
songs, and
Mm.
it was fun. It was fun doing that because people can be like, "Oh, I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing." You know, it's
Hmm.
not like that little DJ magic. Um,
Right.
but now I'm like, whatever. As long as Drake's not accused of any like sexual things, at least we don't know yet. I'm gonna still
It's
play it until
yeah. I don't know. I'm the type too to like not play canceled artists, but it's like Michael Jackson went through his shit and we still play it. Like you have to.
same with James
It's
Brown.
it's impossible. Fucking. I mean, these being an artist in the music industry is probably not the rainbows and butterflies
Exactly.
that we think it might be. It's like
Yeah.
well, grass is always greener on the other side. But imagine climbing to the 1% of an industry that so like people are like cutting
Yep.
each other's throats, robbing left and right. It's just like people killing each other in the streets. Like rappers are just like dying left and right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
To be
it's
successful, sometimes
just yeah,
it requires sacrifice. So,
yeah,
or like who knows what they're doing, blood sacrificing out there.
yeah. And there's another thing. I just like completely unrelated. I don't even know why I'm bringing this up, but I did a deep dive on Pumped Up Kicks finally,
Okay.
and you know that song is like about like shooting people. It's
Really?
fucked up. Yeah, yeah. It's like horrible. Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, I stopped playing it because I knew that like people mentioned there being some like weird connotation to it, and yeah, I don't know.
My
I'm not playing R. Kelly, but
yeah, I was so weird. You just keep words out of my mouth.
yeah,
The first time I heard about any type of cancellation,
mm,
this woman came up to me and she was like, Do you know what R. Kelly was accused of and doing this and that? I don't
Mm,
feel comfortable you playing that song
mm,
as a woman,
mm.
and I think you should think about like not doing that
No.
anymore. I
That's
was,
cool that someone vocalized that though.
yeah.
Like
I mean, it's
people think that, but don't really like, I would rather you just talk to me than judge me silently in the corner.
exactly. And then I feel like 6 months later, the whole Me Too movement came and it was like, oh, okay, it starts somewhere. So I mean,
Yeah.
R. Kelly's mess up
Hmm.
was probably good for women. Think about how many people came down, were taken out of some type of office job or corporate job because of some assault. So I mean, kudos to women out there for standing up for your rights.
Hell yeah. Um, yeah. And again, Chris Brown, all those guys, like, but that's the thing. I still play Chris Brown.
Isn't it interesting? A
But
lot of people
I,
forgave Chris Brown like pretty quickly.
yeah, I do get dirty looks when I play Rihanna and then Chris Brown after.
Oh, really? I still do that back and forth, and then I play that birthday cake song that they did together.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to do that with Bieber and whoever Bieber used to be with.
Mm,
There was like a time Bieber was with somebody and like
mm,
they had, oh, it was a Justin and Britney. Maybe it was just,
right.
I don't even remember.
It's good though because like you kind of like manipulate, where their heads are at, and at least like once they start talking, there's familiarities and conversations. You start with the sequences of music that you choose.
Yeah.
It's an inroad to like getting them.
Hmm.
Um, I do this a lot. Not well, probably more often than I should.
Hmm.
When I'll play like Kia, my neck, my back,
Yeah.
and then all the ladies are into it and like getting all nasty.
Yeah.
And then I play that DJ Pump song. You're such a
Yeah. Yeah.
oh,
Oh, really? I
I
don't.
love it. And they just like look at me like, yeah, my
Right? Yeah.
God.
Yeah. 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 Nah.
You get them open and then you close them right up. And it's
Exactly. Hey, so I
yeah.
think we got like a minute left
Okay.
to let's do
Parting
some.
words.
Thank you, everybody, for the opportunities you've given me as far as DJing. Thank you to all those big clients. I really appreciate their work, and hopefully next year we have some other opportunities and similar situations happening, if not better. How about you?
Right on. Parting words. I've been having a lot of fun doing what I've been doing, and I just hope to keep doing it to an even greater capacity. However, those opportunities may find me, and I'm going to continue to put to throw my ass into what I do. It's just like I'm having fun being myself and doing something that I've wanted to do since a little kid, and reminding myself and reminding that little kid that like, look, we're doing it. Like this is what we wanted, whether it's bad or good. The constant reminder of this is what you chose and this is what you wanted.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Just grateful for everything and grateful for you as a DJ friend for putting this together and looking forward to more collaborations in the years to come.
Absolutely. So with that said, yeah, I'm Morsy.
I'm Nique.
And yeah, it's been a wonderful 2024. Looking forward to 2025. We'll see
Let's
y'all
go.
later. All
Hell
right.
yeah. Peace.